What's going on, Washington fans? We're back with another episode. In today's episode, we are going to be previewing the Commanders vs. Patriots Joint Practice. It's so fun to be putting these thumbnails together, the Commanders actually going against another team. We have a football game this Friday, but obviously the joint practice is tomorrow against the Patriots for the Commanders. They travel up to Foxborough today. So we're going to preview that today. Before we do, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. On the road to 2,000 subscribers. Okay, we're really close, about 250 away. And hit that notification bell as well. So the value of joint practices never changes. I love this idea of a joint practice, because the guy that lines up, if you're an offensive lineman right in front of you, they don't care about you. They don't care about you growing as a player. They do not care. So I'm going to start with Brandon Coleman because I felt like I wanted to talk about him. He's a guy that I really want to see tomorrow, but we don't know if he's going to play because he's been injured. He didn't practice yesterday. I want to see how he fits in at left guard. Obviously, last year he was the left tackle. Now he's moving to left guard, kicked inside. How does he fare with that? We might not get to see him, and that's really going to suck. I think he really needs this practice to grow because, again, the guy that lines up in front of him, they don't care. The Patriots players don't care about any of our offensive linemen. Josh Connerly Jr., they don't care that the Commanders took him in the first round at pick 29. They do not care. They don't care that he needs to get stronger. They don't care that he needs to be adjusted to the right side. They're going to get after him. So that's what I really like. That's what I'm really going to be excited to see. So the offensive line as a whole it's really changed up this year. Laramie Tunsil at left tackle. Excited to see that. I would be excited to see Brandon Coleman at left guard, but it looks like it's going to be Andrew Wiley. Center, Tyler Biadasz, continue to do what you do. Obviously, right tackle is going to be Josh Connerly Jr. because, Andrew Wiley has to slide over to left guard now that Coleman's not present, probably not going to practice tomorrow with the Patriots. So that opens, the starting spot up for Josh Connerly, not really having to earn it. They might put another guy in there. They could put a guy like Chris Paul in there, but it's going to be a really interesting dynamic tomorrow. I'm excited for the whole offensive line. We're obviously going to get to see some of the rookies. Jaden Daniels, he's going to have to fight through a tough practice. It's going to be hard for Jaden Daniels. He doesn't have his number one weapon in Terry McLaurin, and unless they get an extension done, they're traveling today. He's probably not going to have Terry McLaurin. So, you have to work on throwing the ball to Deebo Samuel. Their connection's been getting really good lately. You're going to have to throw to guys that you're not used to throwing with. And there's a sixth wide receiver spot open. So who's going to emerge themselves tomorrow? That's what I'm really looking for as well. At the wide receiver position, who's going to emerge themselves? Who's going to come out of the pack and say, okay, I want this sixth spot. Okay, is that going to be Chris Moore? Is that going to be KJ Osborne? Is that going to be Michael Gallup? Is that going to be the youth in Ja'Cory Brooks? Is he going to do what he did at the start of training camp? Because he's kind of fizzled out now. Who's going to emerge themselves? Who's going to be the bell cow? Because there's 5 guys locked in already. Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, right? Noah Brown, Deebo Samuel, and Terry McLaurin. So who's going to emerge themselves as the 6th guy? Who's going to have a big day tomorrow? Who's going to be Jaden Daniels' number 1 target tomorrow? It might be Deebo Samuel, but it very well could be somebody else. And like I said, you're looking to burn these Patriots defenders. They're not going to have Christian Gonzalez, which definitely hurts the Patriots, but you're looking to burn these Patriots defenders, man. We're looking to kick them tomorrow because that's the mindset you have to have. So, would really love to have Terry McLaurin to do that, but who's going to emerge themselves? This is really about learning what we have. Okay, so the wide receiver room is going to be interesting tomorrow as well. Already covered the offensive line. I want to see Connerly, how he does. Obviously needs to work on the fundamentals, needs to work on getting stronger, but this is definitely going to go a long way in helping him do that. And the whole offensive line is going to learn a lot about what they have. The running back room, it's going to be interesting. Brian Robinson Jr., we kind of know what he is at this point, but is he coming different this year? Is he, with a better offensive line, going to be way better this year? Okay, is he going to turn up tomorrow? Okay, because he very well could do so. What are we going to see from Bill? What are we going to see from Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt? I think we're going to kind of see Merritt more Friday night because he's going to get a lot of the reps. I don't know about tomorrow if he's going to get a whole lot of reps because he's not up there for starting reps yet. He has to earn that. So it'll be interesting to see him. Interesting to see the whole running back room because the running back room is kind of like the wide receiver room. It's kind of like who's going to emerge themselves. Like we have our three to four guys. We have Eckler, right? We have B-Rob. We have McNichols. We have Krosky-Merritt. But who's after that? Demetric Felton. He's looked really good. What does he do tomorrow? Chris Rodriguez. What's he going to do tomorrow? Okay, is he going to show up? Or is he going to continue to just sit on the practice squad all year? Is he going to show up? So it'll be very interesting to see Kazmir Allen as well. What's he going to do? He's had a good camp so far. So really intrigued about the running back room as a whole as well. Does everything look the same as it did in camp? Who's going to find the hole and go through it, right? I think it's really good for this squad to go against new bodies, basically a new defense, right, for the offense, and then a new offense for the defense. And it's really good to go against other competition, because the defense is, they've seen the offenses, right? They've seen what we kind of run. They've seen what we do. They're kind of getting used to us after so many days of training camp. So it's going to be interesting to see, how do these two learn, these two groups, offense and defense, how do they learn whatever's thrown at them? Like the offensive linemen, they're going to have to stand up and block, right? So I think it's going to be interesting in that way. It's just going to be, this is about learning, right? Keep in your mind when you're watching this. Well, you're not going to get to watch it, but when you're hearing the notes and stuff, somebody had a bad day or something like that, keep in mind that this is the whole part of it. They're learning a lot. The whole point of this is to learn. It's not to, get injuries. It's right. It's not to dog on another team. It's just about learning and coming together and both learning as a team. So, nobody cares about each other, but it's not going to be as physical as you think. If you hear somebody had a bad day, don't be worried. It's kind of the nature of it. So the offense is going to be very interesting to watch. The quarterback position, right? Are we going to see anything from Sam Hartman, Josh Johnson? Yes, I would say so. Because Friday night's going to be their night as well. Right now, Josh Johnson has beaten Sam Hartman on the depth chart. He's 39 years old, and he kind of fits the mold of what they want out of Mariota and Daniels. But you'd like to see Sam Hartman emerge himself soon because he's a guy that they probably want to be Jaden Daniels' backup in a few years. If I'd had to guess, why else would he be here? So when Mariota leaves or retires. So, you would like to see him look really good through this, okay? Josh Johnson, that's not necessarily, you don't need to see much from him. You kind of know what he is at this point, right? He's 39 years old. So, the quarterback position is going to be very interesting. I think I've covered the tight end position. Zach Ertz, just continue to catch passes. Don't get injured. Don't have any injuries, just catch some passes. Get used to, a new defense coming at you and get off the field. Ben Sinnott, he's going to have to show up, right? He's going to get a real shot. He's going to have to show up and catch some passes, catch some touchdowns, do the best you can. Do a good job blocking, look physical out there. Colson Yankoff, he's fighting for a roster spot. He's going to have to fight, and he's just show yourself. Make yourself known, right? So the tight end room is going to be interesting as a whole. I know I'm missing someone in the tight end room. Zach Ertz, Ben Sinnott, John Bates, just continue to block. We'd like to see him emerge himself as more of a pass-catching tight end. He's done that this offseason. Can he do it against a different defense? That's what I'd like to see. So, now that we've covered the offense, I just think it's going to be a different dynamic. Obviously, without Terry McLaurin, people are going to have to learn. People are going to have to step up. Cliff Kingsbury said yesterday, Luke McCaffrey's had to play outside more than basically we want him to. Jalen Lane's had to step up as a rookie. Deebo Samuel's had to be the wide receiver one. It's just going to be a whole different dynamic without Terry. I hope they do okay. Let's move to the defensive side of the ball. We'll start with the defensive line. Again, you just go out there and get after it. Von Miller, no injuries. Just go out there and get after it. If we leave this whole practice with nobody injured, that it's a successful practice, in my opinion. So, Von Miller, let him get after the quarterback, right? Dietrich Wise, continue, no injuries for you. Just go out, get after the quarterback, right? Stop the run. Because you can hit a little bit in joint practices. So, interior defensive lineman, get after it. Bull rush, right? Get up the middle. Get to the quarterback, right? Javon Kinlaw, get to the quarterback. Daron Payne, are you going to show up this year without Jonathan Allen? There's been a lot of hype around him. Get to the quarterback, right? Push these offensive linemen back. Dorrance Armstrong, show up. Make yourself known. Get to the quarterback, right? So, going to be interesting. Jacob Martin, right? Never had over 4 sacks in his career. Is this a breakout year for him? We'll see. But can he show up and look good out there? So the defensive line is going to be interesting. Get after it. Make it hit, right? Be physical with the Patriots. Show them what they're waiting for Friday night. No, I'm just joking because, you're not going to see Von Miller Friday night. You're not going to see any Dietrich Wise. You're not going to see Jacob Martin. You're not going to see Dorrance Armstrong. So, but get after it Wednesday and then get ready for week 1, right? Prepare yourself for week 1. Prepare your body for week 1. Prepare for the hits you're going to take week 1. Prepare for how you're going to get into guys and get to the quarterback and drive them back for week 1. So, for the whole season. So, defensive line is going to be interesting. The linebacker position, I'm really invested in these rookies and these second-year guys. Dom Hampton, making the switch from safety to linebacker. He's gotten jacked. I want to see what he can do. I want to see what Jordan McGee can do. They said, Jordan McGee in practice, he's been calling some plays at the linebacker position. I want to see what he does. I want to see, he's gotten a lot more jacked as well. I want to see him lead the linebacker room. I want to see him make plays. And I want to see Joe Witt Jr. use the packages that they had designed for him last year that they couldn't use because he was hurt. But again, no injuries. Bobby Wagner and Frankie Luvu probably not going to get a lot of run, if I had to guess, because you don't want any injuries, and just make some plays out there, make yourself known. We don't even have to talk about them. I know they're going to go out there and make plays. Frankie Luvu, it's interesting to see him. I've heard they've been using him as an edge rusher more of anything. Get to the quarterback then, if they're going to use him in that way. So, and then maybe they'll put Jordan McGee alongside Bobby Wagner. So, I want to see those packages. I want to see what they can use different this year. So linebacker room's going to be interesting. The secondary's been probably the biggest talking point this offseason of the whole team, right? Mike Sammerstill's been the best defensive player in training camp so far, and he's a second-year guy. Obviously, we drafted Trey Amos, and that allowed Mike Sammerstill to kind of go back to the slot corner position, the nickel position. So he's going to have to show up tomorrow. He didn't practice yesterday. I'm not sure why he didn't, but he didn't practice yesterday. He's going to make the trip to Foxborough today, I'd imagine, right? Get some reps tomorrow. Don't get injured. Show us something. Maybe get a pick, right? Maybe get a pick. At the end of the day, I just don't want to get beaten so bad. Remember last year we were beaten so bad by the Jets. Garrett Wilson cooked Emmanuel Forbes. Just don't let that happen, man. Just shut him down, right? Just shut him down. That's all I want. So Mike Sammerstill in his nickel position. Trey Amos, I want to see him get some run with Stephon Diggs, maybe. We can hope for that, but I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. Trey Amos gets some run there. Don't get cooked, right? Keep yourself composed, learn some things, and he'll be fine, right? And continue to do what you've been doing all offseason because he's been a weapon all offseason. So, excited for Trey Amos. He might not get a lot of run. He's not going to get any run Friday night because we said they make these guys earn it, but Trey Amos has already earned it, I think, in their eyes. In the depth chart that came out yesterday, he was the number 1 outside corner, alongside Marshawn Lattimore. So he's kind of already earned it. They don't want to risk any injuries. He had a back problem coming out of the draft. Don't risk anything of that nature. So excited to see Trey Amos. Marshawn Lattimore, no injuries. Show us you still got it. Make some plays. He might be on Stephon Diggs. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if after last year they're not going to, let Marshawn Lattimore go in man. They might just run zone because they don't want him chasing around and getting beat, right? I don't know. See him against Stephon Diggs maybe a little bit. Again, no injuries is the biggest thing for him, but also make some plays. The safety position, probably the biggest question mark for this roster. We brought in Will Harris to be kind of a Jeremy Chin replacement. You're paying him a lot less money, which is really smart on Adam Peters' side of things. I'm really excited to see Will Harris. He's been great through camp so far, really flying under the radar. He's been good in coverage so far, so excited to see him kind of show up at the strong safety position. So I'm excited to see Will Harris. Quan Martin, he's been, we talked about Mike Samerstill being the best defensive player out there in training camp. I think Quan Martin has been a close second. He's had a lot of picks, a lot of pass breakups, so excited to see Quan Martin at the free safety position. I think he's going to make plays. Just show us, I think he'll participate a lot because, he obviously had that shoulder injury earlier on in the offseason and in the Lions game and stuff in the playoffs. He'll show up and he'll make some plays. I don't doubt that. So the secondary is going to be interesting to watch. Tyler Owens, he was getting reps with the first team a lot. What does he do? Right? What does he do tomorrow? How does he make plays? How does he look at the safety position? Right? Does Tyler Owens, they've been trying Tyler Owens at the cornerback position. Does he come down and cover as a corner? Right? Because that would be very useful if he looks good as a corner too, because they want guys that can come down and cover in different positions, be very versatile. So interested to see Tyler Owens, and Jeremy Reeves, right? He might get some run at the safety position. They're trying to use him as more of a defensive player instead of special teams. And Percy Butler, how do you look at the safety position? They both got extended this offseason, so we'll see how they look. But I'm really excited for tomorrow. Obviously not going to be broadcasted anywhere, but Friday night will be broadcasted. But tomorrow's going to be the real thing. They're going to be in pads. Drake May, Jaden Daniels are actually going to get run. Friday night, both of those guys probably won't get run. So, going to be interested to see. Just, again, no injuries tomorrow, right? But I need to see everyone look good. If they don't look good, again, keep composed because they're learning. How does Josh Connolly look? How does he block? And if we can move past all of that, I think we'll be fine. I think it'll be a fun practice, and we'll obviously get notes from the media. Tomorrow, I will obviously give you my practice report after it has concluded. So, for right now, that's going to do it for me. You guys have a good one. Get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you guys in the next one. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Have a great day.